Hello, I'm Bernard Norcott-Mahany. I work at the Bluford branch of the Kansas City Public Library. April is National Poetry Month, and for April of 2026, I am reading from George Chapman's translation of Homer's Odyssey, books 1 through 4. So today we begin book 3. This involves Telemachus traveling to Pylos. So, Odyssey 3, lines 1 to 94. Telemachus travels to Pylos. There is a festival going on when he gets there, and the people are offering sacrifices to Poseidon. Nestor's youngest son, Pisistratus, spots Athena, who's disguised as Mentor, and Telemachus, and invites them to the feast. They dine. The sun now left the great and goodly lake, and to the firm heaven bright ascent did make, to shine as well upon the mortal birth, inhabiting the ploughed life-giving earth, as on the ever-treaders upon death. And now to Pylos, that so garnisheth herself with buildings, old Neleus' town, the prince and goddess come had strange sights shown, for on the marine shore the people there to Neptune, that the azure locks doth wear, beeves that were wholly black gave holy flame. 9 seats of state they made to his high name, and every seat set with 500 men, and each 500 was to furnish then with 9 black oxen every seat. These of the entrails only pleased to eat. And to the god inflamed the fleshy thighs. By this time Pallas with the sparkling eyes, and she led, within the haven bore, struck sail, cast anchor, and trod both the shore. She first, he after. Then said Pallas, Now, no more befits thee the least bashful brow, t'embolden which this act is put on thee, to seek thy father both at shore and sea, and learn in what clime he abides so close, or in the power of what fate doth repose. Come then, go right to Nestor, let us see if in his bosom any counsel be that may inform us. Pray him not to trace the common courtship, but to speak in grace of the demander, but to tell the truth, which will delight him, and commend thy youth for such prevention, for he loves no lies, nor will report them being truly wise. He answered, Mentor, how, alas, shall I present myself? How greet his gravity? My youth by no means that right form affords that can digest my mind's instinct in words, wise and beseeming the ears of one so sage. Youth of most hope blush to use words with age. She said, Thy mind will some conceit impress, and something God will prompt thy torwardness. For I suppose thy birth and breeding too were not in spite of what the gods could do. This said, she swiftly went before, and he her steps made guides, and followed instantly. When soon they reached the Pelian throngs and seats, where Nestor and his sons sat, and the meats that for the feast served round about them were adherents dressing, all their sacred cheer being roast and boiled meats. When the Pylians saw these strangers come, in thrust did all men draw about their entry, took their hands and prayed they both would sit, their entry first essayed by Nestor's son Pisistratus, in grace of whose repair he gave them honored place betwixt his sire and brother Thrasymene, who sat at feast on soft fells that were spread along the sea sands, curved, and reached to them parts of the innards, and did make a stream of sprightly wine into a golden bowl, which to Minerva with gentle soul he gave, and thus spake, Ere you eat, fair guest, invoke the sea's king, of whose sacred feast your travel hither makes you partners now. When sacrificing as becomes, bestow this bowl of sweet wine on your friend, that he may likewise use these rites of piety. For I suppose his youth doth prayers use, since all men need the gods. But you I choose first in this cup's disposure, since his years seem short of yours, who more like me appears. Thus gave he her the cup of pleasant wine, and since a wise and just man did design the golden bowl first to her free receipt, even to the goddess it did add delight, who thus invoked, Hear thou, whose vast embrace enspheres the whole earth, nor disdain thy grace to us that ask it in performing this. To Nestor first, and these fair sons of his, vouchsafe all honor, and next them bestow on all these Pylians that have offered now this most renowned hecatomb to thee, remuneration fit for them and free. And lastly, deign Telemachus and me, the work performed for whose effect we came, our safe return, both with our ship and fame. Thus prayed she, and herself obeyed. In the end performing all for which she prayed, and now to pray and do as she had done, she gave the fair round bowl to Ulysses' son. The meat then dressed and drawn, and served to each guest, they celebrated a most sumptuous feast.